Hello, Sunshines, and welcome to this very first full episode of Cool House Connection. I'm your host, Deb Deckhand, and I'm thrilled you decided to join us today. Let's dive right into the journey that led to this very podcast and explore how the coolness of communities and properties can enrich our lives. We'll start with the question, why spend time and energy on what does not satisfy? This paraphrased Old Testament question has fueled a new chapter in my life, and at its core, it's the reason and driving force behind this podcast. I'm a 40-year global brand marketer who, after a long corporate career, found a deeply satisfying niche in helping clients find, sell, and fully live in cool houses in cool communities across the mountain communities of North Carolina. I always knew I loved discovering and creating spaces and engagement that added vibrancy to my and other lives. What I didn't know till a bit later is that I had that vision thing when it came to real estate. More than 100 satisfied clients later, it's dawned on me that I can scratch my high energy and creative itch by turning my loves for cool properties and cool communities into a vehicle that might be fun for others too. That's really what this podcast is all about. I hope you enjoy it, and I encourage you to reach out anytime to share your thoughts and ideas. Share. Creativity thrives in a collaborative environment. I think about real estate coolness in three ways: a cool community, a cool geographic setting, or a cool structure or design. Against that backdrop, I promise to never bore you with cookie-cutter commentary or boring, contrived spaces or opportunities. For me, cool goes way beyond just the temperature outside, even though most folks I know would prefer to be in a temperate environment, especially when it comes to work-life balance. Cool is actually warm. It's inviting, it's intriguing, it's compelling, it's nurturing. And that leads me to kick off this series by giving you the insider scoop on one of the coolest places I know. It just happens to be my adopted hometown of Burnsville, North Carolina. First, a bit of history about our charming town of Burnsville, North Carolina. We are, in fact, nestled in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains. But Burnsville is not just a picturesque getaway. It's a place with rich history and vibrant culture. The story of Burnsville begins in the early 19th century. The town was founded in 1834 and named in honor of Captain Otway Burns, a naval hero of the War of 1812. Captain Burns, a privateer from North Carolina, became a state legislator after the war and was celebrated for his heroic service. Captain Otway Burns also cast the deciding vote to make Yancey County an independent county, and for that alone he should be celebrated. Otway and his telescope are also the statue that grace our town square. Our town was laid out around our famous town square, which remains a focal point today. Early settlers in the region were primarily of Scots-Irish and English descent. They were drawn by the fertile land and abundant natural resources. As homesteaders began carving out a life in the Appalachian wilderness, Burnsville grew as an agricultural hub for the surrounding hills and valleys. For much of the 19th and 20th century, Burnsville was a quiet, rural, tucked-away community. Its significant position on trade routes, however, meant it was always bustling with activity. The rugged, beautiful landscape that now is so appealing to tourists and residents alike first played a practical role as the Black Mountain Range provided protection and resources for early settlers. Technological advances and infrastructure improvements would eventually transform Burnsville. The completion of the Northwestern North Carolina Railroad in the early 1900s connected Burnsville to broader commerce systems, facilitating economic growth and a steady influx of visitors. The railway was crucial in transporting goods and attracting new residents to explore its untapped potential. Today, Burnsville maintains its warm, close-knit spirit. The town's commitment to preserving its natural surroundings and historic character is evident in its vibrant downtown and community initiatives. Our beautiful town square hosts several events throughout the year celebrating everything from local crafts to Appalachian music traditions. The Penland School of Craft, just a few miles from Burnsville, is a testament to the area's craft heritage. It draws artisans worldwide to explore and hone their creative crafts. Meanwhile, Mount Mitchell, the highest peak east of the Mississippi, stands as a guardian to the landscape and a beacon for hiker and nature lovers. Burnsville presents a blend of past and present, tradition and innovation. Listening to the stories told by its residents and walking its historic streets gives one a sense of stepping back to simpler times, while still experiencing a town that embraces the future. Embedded in the tales of sailors and settlers and artisans, Burnsville is a unique gem that showcases the beauty and diversity of North Carolina's mountain heritage. In other words, Burnsville oozes cool. Many of the families here have been proud residents with named cemeteries for at least 3 generations. But while that might seem to make Burnsville insular, surprise, it's not. Rarely, in fact, have I run across a community with such vibrancy and openness to those from off. The architectural touchstone of Burnsville is the newly restored New Ray Hotel. It's the oldest continuously operating hotel in North Carolina, 175 years rich. There'll be much more about the New Ray Hotel in a future podcast featuring the new inn owners, James and Amanda Keith. You definitely won't want to miss that episode. But while the New Ray Hotel and our iconic town square are the beating heart of Burnsville, our other strengths radiate out in every direction. Burnsville and Yancey County boasts the highest per capita of artists anywhere in the U.S. That's a powerful force for creativity and good and balance. Twice yearly, self-directed art tours allow residents and visitors alike to indulge in the artistic riches. But it's not just the arts, it's the music and the crafts and the beer. The physics of a town like Burnsville mandate that we embrace science as well as art. Because Burnsville is one of just 46 dark sky designated places around the globe, we who live and visit here get to experience the heavens up close and personal from a 42-inch telescope high atop the Baird Dark Sky Observatory and Arthur Planetarium. That's pretty wow. But it wouldn't be nearly as cool if you didn't see gorgeous sweeping mountain vistas in every direction. I was drawn to this neck of the woods because of the mountain beauty, the strong infrastructure, and the comfortable in its own skin nature of the community. But I've made it my home for the past decade because of the coolness of the community and how they've embraced and made it feel like home. The people here simply rock. When you have that kind of community connectedness, it's easy to see and get excited about the really cool houses located here. Some folks are motivated by the panache of a country club enclave. We have one of those. I get it, and it can be heady. But honestly, when it comes to really cool houses, that's not the first place that I look. What really gets my creative design juices flowing are structures with history and great bones, and bringing them into a renewed life as all they can be. Contrary to popular belief, honoring and vitalizing homes with personality does not have to cost the earth, and in most cases, it shouldn't. I've done 3 residences in Yancey County top to toe, and by leaning into all that the local community offers, the results have been bewitching. I told you at the outset that I do cool houses and communities. Let me tell you about a couple of cool waiting to happen structures that I've seen recently that make me want to adopt and transform them, much to my husband's chagrin. I heard someone say a few years ago that the presidency doesn't form a person, rather it reveals them. Well, I feel the same way about houses. If you listen to a house It will absolutely tell you what it wants to be. I'm not a fan of interior design that sets out to create something reflecting the designer's prowess. Frankly, I find that kind of design arrogance a bit insulting. Even if a designer takes pains to make the home reflect the owner's taste, it still is not honoring what the house wants to be. We'll talk much more about how that different approach of house first in future podcasts, but for now, please just hear me out. Take, for example, a lovely brick home situated on $1 million knoll, whose owner emigrated to the mountains from the Florida upscale suburbs. We all seek comfort, and for many, comfort comes in the form of familiarity. This home I'm thinking about will likely be on the market soon, and the challenge the new owners will face is how to reconcile those gorgeous surroundings with the style brought from the burbs. It's not that brick and arches can't be well integrated into a mountain vista, but it has to be done quite carefully. If I put myself in the shoes of the potential buyer, I'm thinking about how to pare back and where I can create focus. Gone are the shutters and the window boxes. The mini arches may get combined for a more generous view of the front and back acreage features. Brick would give way to stone veneer. And inside, once the decluttering happens and the windows are thoroughly washed, the ceilings would be scraped and maximized with elevated LED lit trays, and the furniture arranged to take in the sweeping vista. An easy fix for this particular home is to remove all the curtains and let the sun stream in. You could resurface the kitchen cabinetry with full-length doors to take full height advantage. Then you can refresh the lighting fixtures for ambient softness. Once all that's done, then and only then would I jump to colors and furnishings or expensive new kitchen or bath redos. I'd also consider using the center stairwell in this home as a place for a statement soft contemporary chandelier. In other words, we need to keep the inherent sophistication this home quietly claims, but we've got to let it relax into its natural surroundings. One other property I'd like to tease you with also sits atop a perch that looks out to the town of Burnsville and the mountains beyond. If you talk about bones, this property is ideally situated, and it even boasts a 10-foot ceiling insulated foundation oriented to take in the front and side acreage views. Originally envisioned as a multi-generational home to age in, I hear a higher calling for its 2,400 square footprint. With soaring interior spaces, I could see this home resplendent with a center elevator column sheathed in an art capsule running the full height. Add built-in furniture, and the nurturing role of this home comes into focus. Gathering spaces that beckon, quiet spaces that soothe, and seamless interior and exterior flow. Whoever buys this property at its value price will get to watch the ensuing home unfold into its highest and best. Certainly, if either of these possibilities intrigue you, I and my partner Ryan would be delighted to show them to you. We are always ready to help you realize your mountain dream. One thing I've learned is that mountain dreams take all forms and fashions. Not everyone shares a consistent view of a mountain dream. And that's great. We love working with clients who have every type of mountain dream. And if part of funding your mountain dream happens to be using crypto assets, we can help make that happen too. I hope you've enjoyed this initial peek inside the world of cool mountain homes and community. Next episode, we'll showcase what a river estate really wants to be. Burnsville is filled with these treasures. Until next time, stay cool.